Okay, so thank you, Ayman, and thank you to all the organizers. I did some slides because I'm too lazy to write on the blackboard, but don't hesitate to stop me if I'm going too fast, okay? So we consider, like in the course from Laurent Desvillettes, a mixture constituted by some the dust particles or droplets in an underlying gas, okay? I will mostly speak about dust particles, but you can imagine that it's droplets. And you can find this situation in various contexts. For example, some solid particles which disperse in the atmosphere or in medical aerosol and also in industrial applications, okay? And among all the physical features that we consider, two are most principally important. The first one is that the size of the big particles or the droplets that we consider is very big compared to the size of the gas molecules. Okay, and this is the main point of our modeling. And the second one is that the number density in dust particles, even if this density is very high, is small compared to the number density in gas molecules. Okay, and this will lead to various time and length scales in the problem, and it's quite the same situation as in the model for plasma, for example. Okay. The starting point of our modeling is a fully kinetic modeling, and mostly for two reasons. The first one is that the mesoscopic scale is more appropriate when you consider some rarefied gas or some gas which is not at thermodynamical equilibrium. It's the case, for example, for application of in the situation of the transport of particles in a vacuum vessel, like in the vacuum vessel of ITER, for example. And the second reason is that in the kinetic model, it's easier to incorporate some physical phenomena such as the energy exchange that I will speak about, and to after derive some fluid kinetic or totally fluid model starting from this kinetic model. And you obtain then some explicit term, for example, describing the drag force or the energy exchange, whereas if you consider paper from physicists, you mostly have some empirical coefficient. Okay, so the model that we consider is a collisional model, and we introduce the density function of gas molecule, which is small f, and the density function of dust particles, that is big F. Okay, so remember that small f is for the small molecules, and big F is for the big particles. And the velocity, we don't write as in the same way the velocity of the molecules, which is W, and the velocity of dust particles, which is called V. And this function satisfies Boltzmann-like equations, so a collisional model, where in the left part you find the transport part, and on the right part you find some collisional operator which describe the interaction between particles. So for the interaction between dust and the interaction between just molecules, we consider some Boltzmann operators, okay, and to simplify, we consider here just a classical Boltzmann operator with elastic collisions, that is that the kinetic energy is conserved at each collision. And the main point here of our modeling are the two collisional operators that we call here D of big F small f and R of big F small f, which describe the interaction between gas particles and dust, gas molecules and dust particles. And we will consider some different operators. Okay, the first possibility, which is very pleasant from a mathematical point of view, could be to consider some operator with elastic collisions. That is, I think, the model that Laurent Desvillette considered yesterday. Okay, and so that corresponds to assume that the post-collisional velocity is given by a specular reflection during a collision. Okay, and we can consider here just a simple collision kernel, which is an R sphere here, and the post-collisional velocity here of the particle and the molecules are given by this function, where we write here the mass of a big particle, big M, and the mass of a small molecule, small m. Okay? Okay, so this operator has very nice property because it conserves the mass, the momentum, and the kinetic energy. And so you have some this relation. You also have an entropy function which plays the role of Lyapunov function of the system, and it's something that I will come back just a little bit after. And you can prove, for example, that you have some existence of solution in the spatially homogeneous context in an L1 setting. Okay, but you can certainly do better than this, but that's the result that I proved a long time ago. Okay, and even if this is very pleasant from a mathematical point of view, this is not the most relevant from a physical point of view. And the idea, the starting point of my PhD work was to consider that the collision mechanism between a molecule and a particle is given thanks to a diffuse reflection mechanism, which is the boundary condition that my colleague, I don't remember his name, yesterday recalled us to consider some boundary condition. Sorry. Yes. And so the principle is that you consider that a molecule which collides with a big particles, here see this big particle as a wall, and enter in the surface, collide with the molecules at the surface of the particles, thermalized with these molecules, and after is rejected and following an half Maxwellian at the temperature of the surface of the dust. Okay? Sorry. And more precisely, this is the post-collisional relative velocity, which is given following an half Maxwellian at the temperature of the surface of dust particle. In this collision mechanism, the total momentum is conserved, but not the kinetic energy at each collision. And you even not know if this kinetic energy increase or decrease. Okay? And with Laurent Desvillette during my PhD, we derived some expression for the collisional operators following this collision mechanism, assuming that all the dust particles have the same temperature, which is constant and does not evolve during the time. Okay, so it's behave quite like an infinite energy. Reservoir of energy. Okay? So for this model, I proved some years ago that you can find an entropy, but the problem is that the total energy is not preserved. Okay? And some years ago, with Laurent Desvillette, we consider an improved model in which we introduce the temperature of the surface of particles as a variable in the distribution function of particle, big F, and you modify the collisional mechanism in order to obtain a post-collisional temperature following this equality, which allow to have at each collision the conservation of the total energy, which is the sum of the kinetic energy and the internal energy of the particle. Okay? And starting from this model, we perform some formal asymptotic when the ratio of mass tends to 0, and after when the Knudsen number tends to 0, to obtain a Vlasov-Euler system, Vlasov for the particles and Euler for the molecules, where you can find some energy and exchange terms. Yes?
Sorry, is it a modeling choice? Or
A modeling choice?
I mean, to add the temperature like this on both sides? Or?
Yes, 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 it is a modeling choice, yes. Yes, we introduce this temperature as a variable of the function, and we defined a post-collisional temperature after a collision according to this. I think there is a 1/2 if you consider the kinetic energy, but yes, this is the idea. Okay, you define the post-collisional temperature like this, and this changes the shape of the collisional operators. Okay, and because of the change of the shape of the collisional operator, here I didn't find any entropy inequality. But the total energy is conserved since it is conserved at each collision. Okay? So the idea here is to introduce a model that preserves the total energy and also has an entropy. Okay? We want to have both the conservation of the total energy and also an entropy. Okay, and I will explain you how we introduce this model. And after, the question that arises is, what is the behavior of the kinetic temperature of the big F and small f, that is the phase of particles and also of the gas. Indeed, if you consider, for example, a gas just in a closed box, where you have some wall at a fixed temperature T and some diffusion reflection of the gas as boundary condition of the wall, then it can be proved that the gas thermalizes at the temperature of the wall of the box when the time tends to infinity, that is the kinetic temperature of F tend to the temperature here of the wall when T tends to infinity. It was proved, for example, by Nouri and Arkerid in a L1 setting. Okay, and it's also what we observed in the model that I studied during my PhD, where we have a fixed temperature for the wall. Numerical simulations show that the gas thermalizes at the temperature of the surface of those particles. So we wanted to study this behavior, and for this we will consider a diffuse asymptotic, which is quite the same to consider the long time behavior, roughly speaking. Okay? And this is a joint work with Anna Maria Massimini and Francesco Salvarani. So first I will introduce the modeling of the system, which is the first one that I presented. That is to consider that the temperature of those particles is fixed and does not evolve, and we will see the shape of the collision operators and also the shape of the entropy. And after that, we will extend this model by assuming that the temperature of the particles can evolve, okay, is a function of T and X, and this evolution is given by a transport equation, and which allow to have the global conservation of the energy. And we will see that for this model, we also have an entropy decay and equilibrium states. And in the last part, I will present you the scaling of the model and the asymptotics, which leads to a diffuse asymptotic, and which allow to obtain a result, in particular in the kinetic temperature of the particles on the molecules. Okay, so first, the collision operator, when the temperature of surface of dust is fixed and does not evolve. We assume here that we have an R-sphere collision kernel, that is to assume that the two species collide like billiard balls, and this is this expression. And the expression of the collision operator is this one, is a bit different from a classical Boltzmann operator, because you have this function Hn which appears, and this function corresponds to the density of probability of the post-collisional velocity. Okay? It's a density of probability because this integral is equal to 1, and it corresponds to to draw the post-collisional velocity following an half Maxwellian distribution in the half space defined by the tangent plate, of the tangent plane of the, okay, for diffuse mechanism is like this. Okay, at the surface of the dust. Okay, and the post-collisional velocity have not the same expression as before. They are expressed like this, with according to this variable z, okay, which is a variable of integration in this operator, which is in R3. Okay, for the Boltzmann operator, the variable sigma, which is in the, if you remember, which is here, is only in the sphere. And you can observe that you have the conservation of the total momentum, and also that the z corresponds to the post-collisional relative velocity, W prime minus V prime. Okay? Okay, so now just a few words about the entropy function for the Boltzmann operator, if some people are not familiar with this. So the entropy function is defined by this function, the integral of f log f, and you can consider the entropy dissipation associated to the operator Q, which has this expression, okay, and by some manipulation using the weak form, using the weak form of the operator Q, you can express it under this form, and you use this inequality, just this simple inequality, to observe that the entropy dissipation, the entropy dissipation function is a negative function. Okay, and then if you consider that f satisfies the Boltzmann equation in the whole domain with vanishing condition and at infinity, you have, at least at a formal way, that the derivative of the entropy is equal to the integral of the dissipation function, and so is negative. And this is a very important tool for the study of the Boltzmann equation. Okay, you can do the same, you can extend it very easily for the operator for, with the elastic collision, okay, defining the entropy as the sum of these two terms. And you consider a dissipation function which is the sum of these two terms plus the dissipation associated to the operator Q plus the dissipation associated to the operator P. Okay, and if big F, small f satisfy this system, you also have that the entropy is decreasing during the time. Okay, now for the operator with diffuse reflection, it's a little bit more complicated. Okay, we are still in the case where Tp is a fixed constant, and you introduce the entropy as this sum, and here you can see this in two ways. The first way is that to see it as a relative entropy, you can see that this is the ratio between F on the Maxwellian state, okay, at the temperature Tp, more or less, with a constant. Okay, and you can also see when you expand this expression as the sum of the previous entropy for the elastic collision and this term in which appear the kinetic energy. Okay? And you can prove that the derivative of this function, hd, is equal to a certain function of dissipation and which is negative. Okay? This function, you can express it as this two sum, and you can put apart the dissipation of the operator Q and P, and after you express the sum of these two terms here as this expression, and you also express it like in the case of the Boltzmann operator as the log of something minus the log of B multiplied by A minus B. Okay? And this is the same way. In the same way, you prove that it is negative. Okay. And if you consider now equilibrium states, you are looking for function big F and small f such as this terms is equal to 0. Okay? I recall that for the Boltzmann operator, you are looking for function f such that you have this, where v prime and v star prime are the post-collisional velocity. And in the case of the Maxwellian equation, the Boltzmann equation, you prove that it is Maxwellian states at any velocity and any kinetic temperature. But here, you prove that the function small f and big F, which are equilibrium states, are Maxwellian states, but at the same microscopic velocity and the same kinetic temperature, which correspond to the temperature Tp of the surface of particles divided by a constant mu. And this mu is the ratio between this ratio and is close to 1 when the mass, when you consider that the mass of the gas molecules is very weak compared to the mass of dust particles. Okay? So you have some equilibrium states more or less at the temperature of the dust particles. Okay, so now we extend this model to obtain the global conservation of the energy. Here the idea is to consider that the temperature of dust particles, Tp, is a function of T and X and will evolve according to an equation that I will present just after, in order to obtain the global conservation of the energy. The two functions big F and small f satisfy the same kinetic collisional system, okay, where we still have the same collision operators, which are not modified by the fact that Tp depend of X and T. It will not change anything. And we introduce this function which correspond to the energy which are time t and position x is the sum of the kinetic energy of the molecule and the particles and also the internal energy of the particles at this position x. Okay? And no, it is. And now we introduce an equation for the evolution of this function Tp, which is this equation, which is like it's a transport equation with here the microscopic velocity of the particles, with a reaction term which depend on big F and small f, and with a source term here on the right hand side. Okay, so it's non-linear with the system verified by big F and small f. And this reaction term on the source term depend of the the collision kernel that you consider here, we consider the R-sphere collision kernel. And if big F, small f, and Tp satisfy the collisional system on this equation, then with vanishing condition at infinity, then you can prove that the total energy on the whole domain is conserved during the time. Okay? Now let's go to the entropy. I recall that we had this expression for the entropy in the previous model, but you see here that if you want to derive now this entropy function, if Tp depends of T here, you will not have the same result. Okay? You will not obtain the same function of the dissipation of energy. Okay, so that's why we change the entropy function. And here, the entropy function that we consider here is just the sum of this entropy, which is the one that we introduce for the elastic model, and this term, which depends of the function Tp. And you can prove that the derivative of this entropy is the integral of the sum of the previous function, the same previous function of the dissipation here, and plus the dissipation associated to the operator C and P. Okay? And this is still negative. And since it is the same function for the dissipation of the entropy, we have the same equilibrium states. Okay? But here, in the Maxwellian, we have Tp of Tx instead of Tp for the last model. Okay? I just have a look. Yeah. Okay. So now let's turn to the diffusive asymptotic. We consider first the scaling of the system. So we introduce some order of magnitude for the time scales and the length scales, some reference temperatures that we will use for the scaling of the function Tp, some reference velocity for the gas molecules and for the dust particles, and some order of magnitude of the number density in the particles and in molecules. Okay, and we introduce some small parameters. First, the mass ratio between a molecule and the dust particle, the reduce ratio that you can link to the mass ratio if you want, but we don't need here. We just introduce this like this. You introduce the Knudsen number of the gas that you can rely with the Knudsen number of the particles, okay, which is linked to the Knudsen number of the gas on the reduce ratio. And you introduce also a ratio that we interpret as the Mach number of the gas, which is this ratio, okay? And roughly speaking, it corresponds also, when you make gamma tend to 0, it also corresponds to make the time tend to infinity. And we make here the following assumption. We assume that the ratio of the density in dust particles and in the gas is a constant. Even it could be small, but it is a constant which does not depend of the small parameters. Okay? But we assume that we have this relation between the order of magnitude of the velocity of the particles and the molecules, okay, which correspond to scale the velocity according to the thermal velocity, okay, in which we use the reference temperature, the same reference temperature for both species that I introduced before. Okay, and then that's lead that the order of magnitude of the dust particles is very low compared to the order of magnitude of the gas molecules. Okay, now we introduce the scaled system. Okay, we replace every function by his adimensioned version. And we obtain this system. So in this system, you have the parameter gamma and the parameter eta here, and also here this ratio 1 over delta nu square, which corresponds to the Knudsen number of particles, and we have here the Knudsen number of the gas. Okay, you do the same scaling for the equation of the evolution of Tp. Okay, you obtain this, where here we introduce a parameter which is tau, which corresponds to the ratio between the internal energy of a particle and the kinetic energy of a molecule. And we assume that this parameter is a constant, okay? Because it is covariant and we don't know how to do in another way. We introduce also the dimensionless equilibrium states, which are these equilibrium states, and you can observe that here you have a 1 over the square root of eta in this expression, which is due to the fact that we scale in a different way the velocity of the particles and the velocity of the molecules. Okay, and now we will use this equilibrium states to define the ansatz just after. We introduce the microscopic quantities, and here I will denote epsilon, the vector of the whole small parameters, okay, and I just have the notation f epsilon, small f epsilon, and tp epsilon, okay, which correspond to the fact that this function depends on all the small parameters. We introduce the density of the both species, and here we introduce some velocity, which in fact are not directly the microscopic velocity, but which are divided by these parameters. In fact, it corresponds to assume that the bulk velocity of the system is 0. Okay? We are more interested by the diffusive effect than the convective effect. So we assume that the bulk velocity is 0. And it's also convenient because we have, you remember that we have this 1 over square root of eta here. And this velocity, UF, in fact, it corresponds to the order 1 of an asymptotic expansion of the microscopic velocity of the gas at order 1 in gamma. Okay? And the same for this, and we have this square root of eta, which is still due to the fact that we have a different scaling for the velocity of the two species. Okay? We introduce the kinetic temperature of the particles and the molecules, and we will assume here this that's the function big F epsilon and small f epsilon are Maxwellian states at this velocity and the temperature that I introduced just before. Okay, and so it has this shape. And then we inject this function, big F epsilon and small f epsilon, in the term that we have in our equation. And we take the moment of our equation. We first obtain the two equations for the conservation of the mass. Okay, it's easy because all the collision operators conserve the mass. We obtain after that two equations corresponding to the balance of momentum, in which the right-hand side here corresponds to the integration of the collision operators with according to the velocity, with the velocity, okay? And we have all these small parameters which appears in these microscopic equations also. And finally, we have two equations for the balance of the energy. Okay, I do not detail, but you see that some terms will disappear with the small parameters, and that you have a right-hand side which corresponds to these integrals. Okay? And okay, so for the moment we didn't use the ansatz make on the function big F epsilon and small f epsilon, but now we will use it, and we will assume some to do the limit when epsilon tends to 0. We will assume some something. So we'll assume that all the microscopic quantities for big F and small f have a limit, okay, when epsilon tends to 0, and that the derivative with respect to t and x are all bounded with respect to epsilon. Okay, so that's an assumption that we made. And we also assume, you see clearly why here, that gamma square over eta tend to 0, so that gamma square tend to 0 faster than eta when epsilon tend to 0. Okay, and we also assume this relation between this term which corresponds to the Knudsen number of particles and the parameter gamma. And with this assumption, and by replacing function f epsilon and big F epsilon in the terms, we can do some asymptotic expansion, and we obtain some equation at the limit. And first, we can prove that the convergence of the temperature Tp is a consequence of the assumption that we make. We don't need to assume this. After that, we obtain two relations for the conservation of the mass, two equations here which are derived from the balance of momentum, and also the global conservation of an equation corresponding to the global conservation of the energy, which is here. And finally, what is the most interesting, I think, is that we can prove that the kinetic temperature of the gas, the kinetic temperature of particles, and the function Tp all converge to the same limit when epsilon tends to 0. Okay? And it corresponds to a thermalization in a certain way of the system at the same temperature. Okay, I do not present some details, but I will just briefly speak about the Maxwellian case. If you want to consider a Maxwellian collision kernel instead of a hard-sphere collision kernel. In fact, computations are much more easier because for the source term and the reaction term that I presented you can express it directly according to the microscopic quantities, and you obtain very easily some results. So the Maxwellian collision kernel, I forgot to express it, to explain what it is. It corresponds to a kernel which just depends of an angle and not on the angle between n and the relative velocity and not the value of the relative velocity. Okay? You can imagine that it's a constant. Okay? And then for this model, something is very different is that we have this relation. Instead of having theta small f and theta big f which are equal to Tp, it's equal to 4/3 Tp. Okay? It seems a bit strange, but in fact, it is reminiscent from a result that I obtained for the model with the fixed temperature Tp. In fact, if you consider the model with the fixed temperature Tp, with the Maxwellian collision kernel, you can study the spatially homogeneous system, and you can express you can compute the kinetic temperature, and this is just a differential system. You can study the long time convergence of this kinetic temperature, and you obtain that it is 4/3 Tp. And it is also what you observe from a numerical point of view. Okay, so everything is coherent, so we are quite happy with this. So a small conclusion. So I briefly recall all the modeling that I presented, so different modeling. Sorry. Okay, for the dust molecule interaction, you can consider some different modeling. The first one, which is very pleasant from a mathematical point of view because you can do plenty of things, is the elastic collision, for which you have conservation of the kinetic energy at each collision, and you also have an entropy. But it is not very realistic from a physical point of view. You can consider the diffuse reflection collision, which is inspired from the gas wall interaction. First, with a fixed temperature of particles. Okay? It is also not very relevant from a physical point of view because you don't have the conservation of the kinetic energy on the total energy. Okay? We introduced with Laurent another model, another improved model, where you add the temperature as a variable of the function big F, and this allows to have the conservation of the total energy, which is the sum of the kinetic energy and the internal energy at each collision, but you don't have any entropy. And for this last model, you see the temperature Tp as a microscopic function of the system, and you introduce a transport equation which model his evolution, and this equation allows to have a global conservation of the total energy of the system. And you also have the existence of an entropy. Okay, and in the last part that I present you, so the diffusion asymptotic, when some small parameters tend to 0, we obtain that for the R-sphere collision kernel, all the kinetic temperature and the temperature Tp converge to the same limit, which is quite pleasant, and it seems that the R-sphere collision kernel should be more relevant than the Maxwellian collision kernel for this problem. Okay, I stop here. Thank you for your attention.
Maybe time for 1 or 2 questions in the audience.
So is there a link between the model with the internal, where the temperature is an internal variable, and the model, the last model you presented?
Yes.
Is there a link between them? Can you obtain?
Not really, no. No, in fact, the operator collision are quite different because in the collision operators with the temperature as internal energy, you have some T prime in the collision operator, and no, I don't see a direct link between the two models.
Are there any other questions? Yes.
Yes, maybe a naive question, and maybe I missed it, but is it physically what you wanted, the fact that the particles and the molecules had the same temperature at the end? Or?
Yes, yes, it is what we expected, because we imagine that you have a thermalization in long time between the gas and the particles. And this is what I explained here. When you have a box with with a gas inside and the diffuse reflection mechanism on the boundary, here at a fixed temperature, the gas thermalizes at this temperature.
Thank you.
Okay, if there is no other question, then we can thank Frédéric another time.